You are paralyzed by the thought of what people who are doing significantly worse than you will say. You are terrified of the group chat. You are terrified of the subtle passive-aggressive comments from old high school friends, stagnant coworkers, or even family members who have completely settled in life. You are deliberately shrinking your entire existence, aggressively dimming your own light. Just make sure you fit perfectly into rooms you do not even want to be in anymore. You feel like a coward, staring at the ceiling in the dead of night, wondering why you cannot just break free from the invisible chains of other people's opinions. But the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would look directly at your deleted drafts and your hidden ambitions and tell you a brutal truth. Your fear is not a personal glitch. It is not a weakness. It is a highly engineered psychological weapon that has been used against you since the day you were born. He would tell you that the crushing anxiety you feel when you try to stand out is the exact intended design of what he called the herd. Today, we are going to expose the darkest, most manipulative lie society has ever told you. We are going to entirely dismantle the invisible prison of the average majority. And we will break down exactly why. If you ever want to achieve your massive vision, you must look in the mirror and completely accept your new reality. You must become the villain to average people. Nietzsche understood an unforgiving truth about human nature. The vast majority of people, the herd, are absolutely terrified of exceptionalism. The herd operates on a deeply subconscious contract of shared mediocrity. They trade their ultimate potential for immediate comfort, and they justify their stagnant lives by convincing each other that playing it safe is the only moral, realistic way to live. When you suddenly disrupt that contract, when you start waking up at 4 a.m., relentlessly building a business, speaking your mind, or refusing to participate in cheap, low-level drama, you become a massive psychological threat. You become a walking, breathing mirror, reflecting their own wasted potential directly back into their eyes. Understand this clearly. They do not mock you because they genuinely think your ideas are bad. They mock you because if you actually succeed, it violently destroys their absolute favorite excuse. It destroys the lie that success is impossible. Your ambition is a direct, lethal attack on their comfort zone. To protect themselves from this deeply uncomfortable reflection, the herd developed a brilliant defense mechanism. Nietzsche called it herd morality. It is a system of social rules and behavioral codes specifically designed to shame the strong, the ambitious, and the independent into staying small and compliant. The herd will look you in the eyes and tell you that it is selfish to obsess over your goals. They will call you arrogant for believing you are meant to build an empire instead of sitting in a cubicle. They will weaponize words like humble and realistic to guilt trip you into abandoning your absolute obsession. They actively romanticize being average because there is safety in numbers, and for years, it has worked flawlessly on you. You shrink. You apologize for your drive. You soften your words, hide your financial progress, and actively sabotage your own momentum just to avoid making the people around you feel insecure about their total lack of motion. You are literally bleeding out your own life force to keep emotional vampires comfortable. You are sacrificing your destiny to appease a crowd that will forget you the moment you leave the room. This is the exact breaking point. This is the psychological shift where you must brutally and permanently sever the cord. Nietzsche taught that the individual has always had to struggle violently to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try to carry the heavy, dead weight of the herd with you to the top of the mountain, you will suffocate. You must realize right now that seeking validation from people who have completely given up on themselves is the ultimate form of self-destruction. The disapproval of the herd is not a warning sign that you're doing something wrong. It is the ultimate, undeniable proof that you are finally walking the right path. If your goals, your actions, and your relentless discipline do not actively confuse, annoy, or intimidate average people, your goals are pathetically small. You have to stop trying to be the hero in their story. In the narrative of the stagnant, the lazy, and the profoundly comfortable, the person who breaks the mold and demands greatness is always the bad guy. You must aggressively accept the title. How do you actually execute this? How do you permanently override the biological terror of social rejection? It requires the total, uncompromising death of your need to be understood. You must embrace a terrifying, beautiful level of psychological isolation. Stop explaining your massive vision to people whose biggest life goal is surviving until Friday. Stop seeking permission to build an empire from individuals who have never built a single thing in their lives. The next time you feel that suffocating anxiety creeping up your spine as you are about to launch your brand, post your work, or claim your space, recognize that anxiety for exactly what it is: the desperate, dying gasp of the herd trying to pull you back into the mud. Look directly at the fear and step entirely through it. Hit publish. Let them screenshot it. Let them mock it in their group chats. Let them roll their eyes. Their mockery is the absolute cheapest tax you will ever pay on the road to greatness. While they are busy whispering about you in the dark, you will be systematically building the reality they are too cowardly to even dream of. The pain of being misunderstood by the average majority is a temporary friction, but the agonizing regret of shrinking your entire life to fit into their tiny, fragile boxes will haunt you for eternity. Do not negotiate your potential. Starve your fear. Shatter the invisible chains of their opinions, and step fully into the fire. Become the villain they fear, so you can finally become the giant you were destined to be.